You finally have time to rest. No deadlines, no obligations, nothing you have to do. And your body should relax, but it doesn't. Your mind starts racing, your chest feels tight, and suddenly doing nothing feels more exhausting than doing everything. Why can't you just be still? Because your brain thinks stillness is dangerous. Let me show you what's happening. You sit down, you try to breathe, you tell yourself it's okay to rest, but within seconds your mind floods with thoughts. Did I forget something? Should I be working? Am I wasting time? And before you know it, you're back on your phone, back to scrolling, back to anything that feels productive, because sitting with yourself feels unbearable. This isn't laziness. This is your nervous system in survival mode. Here's the truth. Your brain was built to scan for threats. That's how your ancestors stayed alive. Relaxation meant vulnerability. It meant letting your guard down. And in a world full of predators, that could get you killed. So your brain evolved to stay alert, to keep moving, to never fully rest. And even though the predators are gone, your brain hasn't updated. It's still running the same ancient program, except now the threats aren't lions. They're emails, deadlines, social expectations, the feeling that if you stop, you'll fall behind. And your nervous system can't tell the difference between a missed text and a missed survival opportunity. So it keeps you wired, always on, always scanning, always preparing for the next thing. But here's where it gets darker. You've been running on stress for so long, your brain has forgotten what safety feels like. So when you finally stop, when there's nothing to react to, your mind panics. It searches for a problem to solve, a worry to focus on, anything to justify the tension you're carrying. Because if there's no external threat, your brain will create an internal one. This is why relaxation triggers anxiety, not because something's wrong, but because nothing is, and your mind doesn't know how to process that. Think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence without your phone, without distraction, without filling the space with noise? Most people can't do it, not because they don't want to, but because silence forces you to feel what you've been avoiding. And what you've been avoiding is the fact that you're exhausted, overwhelmed, running on empty, and you don't know how to stop. So you keep moving, you keep doing, you keep distracting, because motion feels like progress, and progress feels like safety. But it's not. It's just delayed collapse. Your brain has convinced you that rest is earned, that you have to do enough before you deserve to stop. But the bar keeps moving. You finish one task, another appears. You check one thing off, 3 more get added. And you never reach the point where you've done enough, so you never rest. You just run until you crash. And here's the cruelest part. When you finally crash, when your body forces you to stop, you don't feel relieved. You feel guilty, like you failed, like you should have kept going. So even rest becomes punishment. This is the trap. You're not resting because you're afraid of what happens when you stop, and you're not stopping because you think rest is weakness. But let me tell you what's actually happening. Your nervous system is stuck. It's been in fight or flight for so long, it doesn't remember how to downshift. It's like a car that's been in 5th gear for years. The engine is screaming, the parts are wearing out, but you can't figure out how to slow down because you forgot where the brake is. And every time you try to rest, your system interprets it as danger. Because in your brain's logic, if you're not moving, you're vulnerable. And if you're vulnerable, you're at risk. So it floods you with cortisol, with restlessness, with the overwhelming urge to do something, anything, just to feel in control again. But control is the illusion. You're not in control. You're in reaction. And the more you react, the less you actually rest. So how do you break this? You stop treating rest like a reward. You stop waiting until you've earned it, because you will never earn it. The goalpost will always move. The to-do list will always grow. And if you wait until everything is done before you rest, you'll die waiting. Rest is not the prize at the end of productivity. It's the foundation that makes productivity possible. And the reason you can't relax isn't because you haven't done enough. It's because your nervous system is so depleted, it's forgotten how to feel safe. So you have to teach it again. Not all at once, not perfectly, but in small moments. Sit for 5 minutes without your phone. Breathe without checking the time. Let yourself do nothing without justifying it. And when your brain screams that you're wasting time, remind it of this. You are not a machine, and running until you break is not strength, it's survival.
and survival is not the same as living. Here's what nobody tells you. The version of you that can relax, that can be still, that can exist without proving their worth through constant motion, that version doesn't come from doing more. It comes from stopping long enough to remember you were never supposed to carry this much in the first place. Your brain won't let you relax because it thinks you're still in danger, but you're not. The danger is the pace you're living at. The threat is the belief that rest is optional. And the only way out is to stop running from stillness and start sitting with it. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's the only way back to yourself. So rest, not when you've earned it, but because you're human. And being human means you were never built to run forever.